Hey guys, in today's video, we're gonna find an average golfer on the range and give him 20 more yards worth of distance. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna give Taylor, we just met officially. Yep. We're gonna give him a little bit of a driver lesson here. He's been hitting a little bit of a fade, but he's not maximizing the amount of distance you're getting out of your driver. You're mentioning you have a pull of a miss and normally likes to cut it. So we're gonna try to optimize what his swing direction looks like. We're gonna give him probably at least 20 more yards in the next 10 minutes. So let's dive in.
So essentially what we're going to be doing with Taylor today is he has discussed that he has basically a two-way miss. He pulls it sometimes and then he also overcuts it. Not necessarily a slice, but it's definitely missing the fairway right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some setup issues here that I can see with him kind of right out of the gates. We're going to watch some ball flight and then we're going to make some adjustments along the way. So if you guys are struggling with a two-way miss, maybe it's a pull, maybe it's a slice, maybe it's a combination of the two, make sure to tune into this video so you guys can figure out how to fix it as well.
Okay, so where does that ball position feel with you? Feels like forward stance, obviously?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So normally, so go ahead and get set. Normally what happens is 90% of bad shots happen with setup only.
Right.
Okay, so foot-wise here, we're okay, just to give some visual.
Yep.
If you take a step back, where is that aimed in relation to our target line? Probably to the blue flag, right? So we're probably looking 50, 60 yards aiming right of target.
Yep.
So the first thing we're gonna do is fix grip, setup, and alignment, and then that should fix majority of our issues.
Right.
So we're gonna line, I don't like to line up on the toe line. I like to line up on the heel line. It gets a better representation because the toe line can sometimes be skewed depending on how much we flare. Right. So I like to get it more on the heel line. So you get set and just feel like your front foot's just a touch more behind you as opposed to more the, yeah, exactly. Okay. The second thing that we're going to take a look at, so just get ready to pull the trigger. Yep. And hang tight there. If I was to draw a line from where this ball position is here, we are basically almost outside the front foot. Right. So that to me is too far forward, which is what causes your, because if you release it just a touch too early, yep, that's where your pulls come in, right, and then majority of your misses will either be straight or over wipes. Okay. So we'll move a little bit further forward and you'll feel as though driver position will be there, which is a little bit of a better representation. Okay, so simply just with that fix, let's hit a couple shots with just moving the ball back just to a more neutral position. So what I've done is actually get behind him, Logan. I'll show you real quick. Go ahead and get set again. So you're set up before, because the ball was so far forward, your shoulders were this way, and then your hips were essentially this way. So now we've kind of neutralized what your setup looks like, okay? So, correct. So just go ahead and hit a couple. And the ball flight should slowly start to change just with that little fix alone, because basically what I've done is if we draw the golf swing in a circle, yep, you're just catching the ball a little bit earlier than a little bit later. Right. That's it. That's all we've done.
Just that split?
Just that, yeah, just that little bit. A little bit higher, still a little bit to the right, which is fine. So go ahead and walk out of the shot, like come behind here, figure out where you want to aim, right, and then we'll come back into it, and then just get reset, just to allow your body to realign. Yep. Yeah, that's really good. Beautiful. Okay, so a little bit flatter of more or less of ball flight. Its spin looks way better, and that is pretty much what you were doing before, but with way less spin. So your spin loft optimization wise won't be as erratic. So now, come on this side, Logie. 99% of golfers that have that miss, what I always find is, go ahead and get set again, is their grip is super, super, super weak. So just go ahead and get your grip again. Yep. So for those of you guys that can see this, this to me is very, very weak. So what we would like to see is, just as a baseline, we want these two V's right here pointed to this shoulder. So I don't want you to go and move your shoulders in that way, just the hands. Yeah, so that would be a little bit more neutral, and this one is just fine. Okay, so other than that, that's gonna feel weird. And the biggest thing with changes, grip is gonna be really ugly. So give it a little bit of time, but just that little bit, we're gonna do micro adjustments. That's good. If it feels uncomfortable, you're in a good spot. Okay. Which is fine. It's not gonna happen in one swing. Go ahead and take a step back, clear your mind a second.
What a rip off, it takes more than one swing.
Yeah, unfortunately. Sometimes you get it right on the first one, but we're all human, so yeah. Much better with the grip, good. Okay, much straighter. 5-yard fade at most. So the thing with grip and face that we fixed is now your ball is actually starting at the flag, and it's peeling a little bit versus like starting super, super left and then basically overcutting, even into a right to left wind. Yeah. So the last thing that we talk about when, not necessarily that I want to change, because you like to fade it. That's consistent for you. Yeah. So there's no sense of changing that. I'm not going to sit here and say, you have to draw it to gain more distance, because that's not necessarily true. So what we're going to do is now we're going to change your swing direction, which is not your club path. Those are two different metrics. So essentially we want to get your swing direction more neutral. So now that the ball position's in a good spot, now that your grip's in a good spot, now we're going to hit a couple here. And I want these to be done at like 50% effort, because it's going to be hard to change a motor pattern at 100% speed. Right. So go ahead and get set one more time. Okay. And we're going to make this fairly easy for you. So just take a backswing going under the stick. Go all the way to the top, and then just return back to center, and just give yourself a little bit of freedom to feel what that feels like. Okay, and when you feel comfortable, just make a 50% driver swing. Nice and slow on the way back, nice and slow on the way through. Beautiful. Straightest one yet. So moving forward, what I always like to tell guys is make sure that you do things very, very slowly. So don't ever try to do a drill at full speed. 50 to 60% is more than enough when you're going to re-ingrain a motor pattern. Making a grip change, making a ball position change. The ball position change is easy. Making the grip change will be challenging. So just progressively make little micro adjustments according to what you feel and see with ball flight. So what I would recommend is probably at least twice a week, just for like half an hour, 45 minutes if you can. And the beauty about this drill is you can even do this at home. You don't even have to hit a golf ball. You can just go in your backyard, jam a stick in the ground, and just have that feeling of repetitive motion. And then as you get better at it and you come out, you don't have to think about it as much.
So if you guys got some value out of this lesson, I want to make sure that I can support you the best way I can. I just opened up a brand new program called the Tour Experience. You can get your golf swing reviewed every single week. So if that seems like something that is of value to you, make sure to check the link in the description below, and let's get you better.